Welcome to the commentary booth, where we watch and you guessed it, commentate on the week that was in movies and TV. I'm your host and play-by-play commentator Jamie Upps, and each week I'm joined by a rotating cast of colour commentators to help you find your next viewing treat. This week I'm joined by a freelance social commentator who lists their favourite movie as American Psycho and favourite TV show as Yellowstone. Welcome back to the show, Blake Robinson.
Yeah. Yes. Look, it's been a slow start today, hasn't it?
The technologically inept, basically a boomer Blake Robinson.
Well, I'll just start off by saying it's ironic that we're talking about a David Fincher film here when my current situation with technology is very. I am a young man in an old man's body. No, I'm an old man in a young man's body. Have that. I
Yep.
look like I should be good with the computers and your whatnots, but that ain't it.
Turn it on, you're like, I don't know what's going on. It's
You're
broken.
like, oh, this guy's like in his 20s. He looks young and fit. Nah, I'm like 85 inside. I've got no idea how to use this computer.
It's like trying to direct my nan or my mum to fix something over the phone. It's like, oh no, please
Yeah,
no.
probably got a better idea than me. Anyway, you're old school.
So yeah, you mentioned that this week we're breaking out the fake IDs, doing our best assassin imitation as we review David Fincher's new Netflix film, The Killer, starring Michael Fassbender.
Yep.
Action film based on a graphic novel of the same name, written by Alexis Nolent and illustrated by Luc Jacamon. What did you think of this one before we dive into it?
Look, first impressions was, we have the Smiths. And normally, I've seen a few movies in my time, and when we get the Smiths playing in a movie early on, it's usually all you hear throughout the movie, and that is all we heard throughout this movie. Now, look, I don't mind the Smiths; they have a lot of great songs. I don't like Morrissey, so that's a bit of a clash of interest for me. But look, we're not here to talk about the music in the film; we're here to talk about the film. But that was my early impressions of it. And I will go on record saying this, Jamie, that I didn't actually watch the trailer for this film. Sometimes I do that. I've seen it. Like, I hear enough about it. I see enough about it. Like, I just see the director's name, or I see one thing about it. I'm like, yeah, look, that's enough. Like, I don't need to spoil it. And I do like going in blind sometimes. So I had no idea what this was about. So I think that was added excitement. It was a bit of a
I think
slow.
that's a benefit for this movie.
Definitely, it was a bit of a slow burn. Like for all of Fincher's films, they're all like these tense sort of, you don't know what's going to happen next, sort of heart racing rides. Very mysterious films, and this was no exception.
I think all of his films, it's like the last half hour is like everything happens in that period. Whereas like in the lead up, it's all just like, I'm trying to get to know who these people are, trying to put the puzzle pieces together.
Yeah,
and then it's like solving a puzzle. You put that one piece in, you're like, oh, I get it.
They're very choose your own adventure, aren't they? In a way.
Yeah, you mentioned the Smiths. Lots of the Smiths in this movie.
It got to an absolutely comical point, didn't it? I was actually going to try count how many songs there were. I think I gave up at like 6. I was like, I'll give up.
Yeah.
It was entertaining every time he put his headphones in on his iPod, which I thought was very
very old school.
Very old.
But also makes sense as an assassin because he doesn't want to be carrying around an iPhone that can be tracked everywhere.
I didn't think of that. What phone did he have? He just had some generic kind of smartphone that he smashed on the ground every time, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a bunch of just like go into the convenience store, buy the basic cheap phone, make one phone call, smash it, toss it down a drain.
Like, this was splendidly, splutifically, I'm going to make up some words here, in the way this was written, this story. It was brilliant.
Very John Wick-esque.
Yeah, look, you're speaking to the wrong person.
Oh, God.
John Wick's for kids, man. It's an action movies for kids.
Yeah, because I wrote down like a description here and I said, as mentioned, the film stars Michael Fassbender in the title role of the assassin as he sets about on this adventure battling his employers, his own personal demons on an international manhunt after his latest hit goes terribly wrong. And then his employers basically go to his house to try and take him out. They attack his girlfriend, and then that sets him on this, like, righto, revenge tour, let's go kill everybody,
so
very John Wick.
Pretty much goes against his motto, don't take work home.
Mm-hmm.
Makes it personal.
Well, they made it personal. They attacked his girlfriend.
Yeah, it's quite
and,
sinister,
like,
wasn't it? See, I wasn't
very
sure.
violently beat her.
See, it wasn't clear that that was his girlfriend, was it?
Yeah, I don't think they ever like say wife or girlfriend or anything, but for me it was pretty obvious. She's living with him. Her brother is like, yeah, you've been really good for her. And I was like, okay,
I just thought he was just like a guy getting paid to live there with like his partner. Anyway, very irrelevant information, but given how driven and motivated and emotionally charged he was to seek revenge, there was clearly a connection there.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I like how like at the start he's talking about in his job as the assassin or the killer that is called in this movie, he doesn't like ask questions. It's just very like ruthless, empathy, like lacking empathy. Just it's a job. This is what I have to do. I don't ask questions. I don't like dig into like researching who are these people. Why would somebody want them killed? It's just like, okay, that's the person, right? Let's figure out the best way to do it. And he talks about you've got the Annie Oakley jobs, which are like the long distance sniping people, or you've got the like up close personal ones, or it's just like proximity work, I think is what he calls it, where you like poisonings or random like car accidents or stuff like that, where like, oops, someone fell down the stairs.
Yeah. So essentially, it's a hitman.
Yeah.
I don't know. There wasn't much context of who and why, unless I blatantly missed it, of who or why he was meant to target or shoot initially. Then he sort of stuffed that up pretty supremely, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's when he sort of got caught up in the taking work home situation. Then the movie just completely forgot about the opening scene and what it was initially going to go along. And he starts chasing down these other people, which I thought at some stage they'll be connected. But as it turns out, once he finally tracked down his original target, I didn't see any connection there.
No, the guy at the end is not the original target.
Excuse me?
The guy at the end is the guy that hired him for that first kit.
The guy that he sneaks into his apartment that he
doesn't kill.
Track back to the gym. Yeah?
Yeah. He's not the original target. He hired him to kill that first guy.
Oh, because I sort of was thinking that was the guy in the apartment in Paris.
No. So yeah, like what happens is he goes to kill that first guy.
Yeah, stuffs it up
and kills the dominatrix instead. Panic sets in. He tries to bail and get out of there without getting caught, get home.
Yeah.
But because the hit failed, the rules of the assassination crew that he works with, what happens is if a hit goes wrong, what automatically kicks in is they send a hitman to come and take out the hitman to cover all the tracks. And they fuck up trying to kill him by going to his house and attack his girlfriend. And then he goes, no, fuck that. You tried to kill my girlfriend. I'm going to go track you all down and take you out and try and get back to the top of it. And he goes through and he kills the, who's the first person? He goes to the guy that hired him, the lawyer, kills him to get all the info on, okay, What was my job? Who hired me? Who
with the
did he
nail
then
gun.
hire?
The
Yep.
nail gun, yeah? All right.
And then he finds out, okay, so this and then he finds out, okay, so this is
Then
who
there's
hired me. This is who they hired to take me out. And he kills the dude that owns the bulldog.
dog, the pit bull. That
Then he
was
kills the blonde woman because she was
we'll
his partner.
We'll bookmark that.
The dog one, yeah.
Yeah, we'll bookmark that guy.
Then he kills the blonde woman because she was a partner with the dog guy.
Of Tilda Swinton fame.
Yep. So then once he takes them out, then he goes to the dude at the gym because he's the guy that hired all of the assassins to begin with.
How did I miss that?
I don't know. You were scrolling, weren't you?
Did I accidentally open Depop like crucial moment and
Yeah,
start relentlessly scrolling?
Very crucial moment.
I don't know. I didn't really scroll too much in this film though. I don't know. Because then I spent the whole movie wondering how that assassination attempt in Paris is all linked, and I'm like, well, he's gone home, and then I just got completely lost. But I don't like you didn't. Honestly, I enjoyed this film thoroughly without putting all this together,
without actually understanding what the fuck happened.
It was like action. And maybe it helped me enjoy it more because I was like, oh, what's going to happen next? Like, I had no idea where he was going next, what he was doing next. And like I said, everything was just so perfectly written and planned out. And I just so enjoyed it for what it was.
Yeah, I love
face value. It was sick.
I loved how like meticulous he was as the killer too. He was like that. Even at like that first scene where we see him just holed up in the abandoned WeWork office, and he's just like, he's got his routine, like he's got to keep his pulse rate down, he's got to do his stretches, and
he wouldn't let himself shoot until he's down like 65 BPMs, and he always has to listen to the Smiths.
Yeah, he just always puts his music on to drown out the outside world, and I was like, yeah, he's very meticulous, like puts the gun together a certain way, puts down his like plastic sheet so that when the bullet comes out, you just pick it up, pop it on, fold it all up.
I thought so no DNA is left behind as well, no hairs or skin when he's sleeping.
And he even he puts the poncho on before he takes the shot.
Did he?
So that he doesn't get any gunshot residue on his actual clothes.
Oh, he's professional.
He takes the shot, pulls the poncho off, puts it on the plastic sheet, folds it all up, tosses it. I was like, yeah, he covers his tracks really well. And then he talks about later in the movie, if you don't want a puzzle to be solved, take away a few of the pieces and scatter the rest. And then he does that with like body parts.
I had a few bones to pick here. I know it's only a movie, but correct me if I'm wrong, but when he threw the mobile helmet off the bridge, is that not going to float in the real world? And it just sunk? I don't know. I swear that bothered me too much. When he takes his helmet off and throws it into the river.
I guess if the visor was closed, it probably would have, because there'd be nowhere for the air to escape.
I need to test this one myself, because that bothered me a bit.
That's
probably why I
motorcycle helmet tossed in the river.
Bro, that's probably why I got so distracted and didn't realise what was going on. I was like, there's no way that helmet would have sunk.
I guess even if it didn't, like, it's been pretty well washed off by the river.
What else did he do? He did some other cool shit. Something else that might be jumping ahead here, when he went to kill the guy in Miami with the pit bull. Mm-hmm. The guy that killed and assaulted what we've now established, his girlfriend. When he bought all that stuff from the shops, I noticed he got a 40-ounce bottle of like malt liquor.
Yep.
And then it cuts to him like sleeping during the day in his car. I was like, oh, he's bought this to like just knock himself out. Like he's going to smack that and just get drunk and fall asleep so he can sleep during the day, because he had the sun visor up as well. Then later on, we find out what he actually did use that bottle for, like a Molotov cocktail situation. So that's something else that I got way too caught up in thinking about.
Yeah, I imagine the poor checkout chick was probably like, this guy's in for an interesting night. Some mints,
like clear eyes,
mints, clear eyes, a bunch of sleeping pills, and a 40-ounce. Like, okay.
And as it turns out, like none of them were for him.
No.
Because he uses
Maybe,
sleeping pills to make little bickies to put the dog to sleep.
yeah, in the mints. Maybe the clear eyes just to sort of
Yeah.
help his eyes, but everything else was just for the hit.
Oh, how hectic was that's one of the better fight scenes I've seen.
Oh, it was.
Bro, some brawl.
Yeah, that was a moment where I actually took a lot of notes. Hang on a second. I wrote down awesome fight scene between the killer and the owner of the dog.
Yeah.
And the score in that moment by Trent Reznor had like this metallic whirring sound, kind of almost like Transformers-esque. And I was like, that's really making me feel like very uneasy, but it's also matching the really fast-paced kinetic movement. And
like for such
the way it was filmed, to me, it looked like the camera was like overclocked, like it was running faster than it was supposed to, because
I picked that up too. I was
they were like moving real quick, but almost like jittery. And I was like, they look like superheroes.
That's what I mean. Well, essentially, we're superheroes. So we got this scrawny, dude, and these absolute machine, like Jason Spec sort of dude.
Punching through walls and just ripping his arm out of the wall.
Bro, it was hectic. And when he's like beating his face into the ground and just gets up and keeps going, he's like, oh, it was sick. But what you said about the camera thing, I noticed that too. I was like, well, this is such a gnarly fight. It's so mismatched, and just so ridiculous and so. But I think but it was just so violent and so epic that you didn't really care. And I think that's maybe why I sped it up on that.
Yeah, it made it just feel like hyper realistic.
Yeah, this is so unrealistic. We're just going to make it absolutely stupid and seem cheesy or fake.
Yeah, and I think that leans into this being a graphic novel originally. Like there were a lot of like moments where you'd sort of get a still shot of like the silhouette of the killer with the background or something like that. And I was like, that's clearly a panel from the graphic novel.
Yeah, I know what you mean there. And speaking of like background noise in that fight, you know when he kicked him or he pushed him back on the leg of the coffee table, and he just went cracking like straight through him. Wouldn't it go up like I thought it went like up his ass, but it went straight up his crotch because it looked like that's where he was bleeding from later on when he went into the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure where it was, but it wasn't pleasant no matter where it was.
It was not a pleasant sound. It was
like of all the places to get a snapped off table leg, no thank you.
How did he end up doing him? He shot him, eh? Did he shoot him?
Shot him through the door.
Yes.
And then he comes back and shoots him in the head and blood splatters all over the toilet.
Yeah, then blows the house up.
Yeah. But I loved it, like the big chunky dude is like, is that the Dominican Republican? Like he recognizes like, oh shit, I was supposed to kill you.
Yeah, he obviously knew he didn't kill him.
Yeah, I just don't think he ever expected him to come and find him.
Oh, actually, this is, probably the most impressive thing about the Dominican Republic situation. How well his process of tracking down the cab driver, how impressive was that?
Yeah. I think that was probably the hardest part for him, where he just had to drive around and look at every taxi until he found, okay, so this is the taxi company that matches the description. And then he went to the actual offices and like, hey, I need to get in.
Did you notice how perfect, like when he got the under the bridge, parked there, shot him, then he walked back out. Did you notice that he parked his Jeep there already previously? Then he just walked straight to his car.
Yep.
Because he got a cab from there into town or walk, then got a cab back there, then just drove off. Just every little fine detail was like looked after and thought of.
And he also stole the cab driver's Bluetooth speaker thing to make it.
Yeah, what was the go with that?
It's to make it look like it was a robbery, not
a robbery. Yeah, so that didn't cross my mind. I was like, that's a bit weird. I thought it's got blood all over it, but that doesn't matter because
I don't think he would have kept it. I think he probably would have just driven somewhere and fucked it off. But he just does such a great job of covering his tracks. Like even when he breaks into from the outset, the Paris job, he makes that stuff up, packs up all his stuff, bails out of the building in a panic, like, oh no, this is the first time I've ever fucked up a hit. Like, he talks in that opening monologue, when he's narrating, he talks about having basically a perfect track record. The only thing stopping him from batting 1,000, 100% is a mob boss had a heart attack before he could kill him.
That's another Fincher special, isn't it? The narration.
Yep.
We see obviously Tyler Durden, Benjamin Button.
Gone Girl.
Gone Girl.
So then, he makes that stuff up. He immediately, the panic sets in, like, I've never made a mistake before. What have I got to do? Packs everything up, like, starts to get out of the building as quickly as he can.
He gave off that vibe, but then everything sort of fell into place. Or was he just sticking to his original escape plan?
I think he was just sticking to his escape plan, but you could see, like, the panic setting in, because he's like,
fuck.
He tosses some of it in the dumpster outside, then he tries to get onto the moped and can't get the lock to come undone.
Yeah.
He's like freaking out about that, gets it done, then he's driving along, tosses a couple of pieces of the gun down the drain, tosses more of it into the back of a garbage truck.
I don't know if this has been asking for a bit much, but the time that all took, so that guy's been shot, obviously, from straight across the street.
Yeah, across the park.
Do you think they should have or could have gotten across cover that building quicker? And like quickly worked out where it come from? Or we're talking like under a minute here.
I guess they could have. It was pretty quick, but like I thought they also have to work out which building it's come from, because it's not going to be the only building across the street.
I know it's directly across though, but I thought it was, by the time he packed that shit up, got all the way downstairs, I thought he was going to get met in the staircase for sure. Then he got out the front, got his moped, and there was still no one running across to check that building. He drives
off, and then the guy's on the parkway. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, I know. But just a movie. Just a movie.
So he covers his tracks in Paris, then he cleans up, goes to the airport, puts another gun in the bin at the airport, continues on. Has so many fake IDs in this movie.
Right. How cool is that when he digs up in his backyard and he has that safe and it's just got all guns, passports, everything.
Yep.
Then he's got that, and he's got the garage.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of storage lockers. He talks about having storage lockers in like 6 or 7 states in the US.
So good. Then did someone mention to him as well, like, why don't you just, the guy that he shot with the nail gun, he's like, you've got the money, like, why don't you just, and you've got the identity, why don't you just pack up and go?
Yeah, you could have just disappeared.
Then we did see how much money he had when he cashed all his money out of the bank. Or something.
Yep.
Which is nothing sus.
And then, like, when he breaks into the taxi office, he, like, ties the dude up, then he goes through all the computers and their files and stuff to find the specific taxi driver. But then after he finds that info, he grabs all the, like, money boxes and stuff and, like, opens them up and tosses them out.
Makes it look like a robbery again.
Takes a bit of cash out as well, just enough to make it look like it was just a robbery and not, like, trying to find something.
If you notice this too, he's talking about covering his tracks. Did you notice at the when he cashed out, he scanned the pen, he used a sign, and he put that in the bin on the way out too?
He doesn't keep anything.
So good.
Like, I love that you see that the panic and stress is running through him, but then he's still analytical enough to be like,
bro.
Can't keep this, can't do this.
Just
gotta wipe myself down anytime I shoot someone. Like,
love it.
Yeah, so I just loved, like, how intricate the whole movie was throughout.
That's amazing. Like, the big thing for this, not only was it on face value so entertaining and like just an absolute ride, is when you look at it and think about this is together and thought out. It's just marvelous.
Yeah, and I love that no 2 kills are the same.
Yeah,
like, you have the sniper shot. Then you have the point blank bullet in the back of the head in the taxi.
Mm-hmm.
The crazy fight scene with the old mate from Florida.
Well, the Tilda Swinton character, he shot her point too, didn't he?
Yeah, but did you
I
see what she
she,
had in
I,
her hand?
she was she was going to do the old knife straight down the forearm.
Yeah, she was going to slash him. So I think it was like like the first kill in the cab basically just looks like a robbery, and then her kill looks like someone attacked her. She tried to stab them. They shot her in the head.
You know what
Like
I
he
was
doesn't even
thinking?
clean her body up. He's just like, that's
Yeah,
good
well,
enough. That's good enough
yeah,
cover.
look, yeah, it looks like an attack.
Yeah.
You know what I was thinking though in that restaurant? I was like, oh, she might, because she's obviously got her wits about her. She's a professional too, and she made it clear a few times that she knows the people at the restaurant very well.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought there might have been all this code and all this pre-planned like safe words and whatnot. That when she bought out the whiskies and that, like the paddle of whiskies and offered them to him, I thought that might have been code for the guys in the kitchen to bring out this special one. Then she offers him these ones that are poisoned or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then
That
he's just
crossed
like,
my mind too.
nope, I'm not
But he
eating. I'm
stuck to
not.
his guns, didn't he?
I'm not eating anything or drinking anything. You get me. Not a chance.
Yeah, that's even smart by her by like slipping down the stairs on purpose and offering a hand. But babe,
Yeah,
you're messing with a professional here.
he's
He
he's
doesn't give a shit.
he's too good for that
No,
shit.
yeah. Oh, when that happened with the knife, and I was like, oh, this guy, man, this guy.
My one question though is he kills the lawyer who basically is the guy that he was his law professor and he convinced him to get into being an assassin. So he killed him and he disposes of his body. He
That didn't
killed
go to plan either.
No, he died quicker than he was supposed to.
Quicker than, and he's like, when he had these three names of a certain size. He'd already done the calculations for a guy that doesn't smoke, he's healthy, of his age. He should have died, what,
In 8 minutes
like
or something, and he died like 3
8 minutes?
minutes. He's like, oh
Yeah.
shit. Didn't get the information out of him, but thankfully the secretary gives the information. And then he kills her. Did he clean up her body or did he leave her there so that she could get her life insurance for her
No,
kids?
I think he made it look like she fell down the stairs. Right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm thinking he does have some empathy because she begs him, like,
No, because
just don't make me disappear because my kids need my life insurance.
initially I think no, because she wanted the kids to like because he was going to leave her in that bathroom like it looked like she killed herself because she had all the pills and that.
Mm-hmm.
I think the way that, and she was like, "Don't leave if like you're going to kill me. Make it look like a little bit of dignity for my kids, so they don't look like mum killed herself."
And yeah, if she committed suicide, she wouldn't get life insurance.
True, yeah. So
So
then,
I think, yeah, he takes her back to her house to
how did
find,
she end up? How
to
did he end
get
up?
the information that he needed.
Yeah. How
And
did
then
she
he
end up
snaps her
dying though?
neck. He snaps her neck
Oh,
and
he
she
snapped
falls
her
down
neck.
the
Yeah, yeah.
stairs.
I forgot. I was
So
like,
I
he didn't.
think
He didn't
he
shoot her
may
or
have left
slash her
her.
throat.
I think
Yeah,
he
she
may have just
stayed.
left her at the bottom of the stairs, so it
But
looks like
yeah,
she just tripped and fell and died.
yeah.
So then
I
she
forgot.
gets her life insurance and her kids are fine.
Yeah, I forgot how she actually initially fell down the stairs. But I thought that is straight away. As soon as she fell down the stairs, I was like, oh, he's going to leave it like that. So it looks like she just fell down the stairs and broke her
Yeah.
neck.
So like throughout the movie, he's ruthless and empathetic. But then in that one moment, he's like, I'll leave you there. I'll actually be nice about this one.
She
Whereas
did him a favour.
nearly everyone else he kills, they disappear.
Yeah.
Like the lawyer's never going to be found again because he's in
Where did
multiple
he?
places in multiple pieces.
Did it show him cutting him up though?
And no, but he tosses some of it off the ferry in a bucket, and the whole body is not going to fit in a bucket.
This is what I had in my notes. There was one thing I had in my notes that I was thinking. Yeah, well, I was like, what was in the paint bucket? I thought that was a bit weird. So that probably his head.
It was either his head or his hands, I would assume.
Yeah, because I didn't. Because I thought he was going to toss the whole bin off the ferry. Hence why he went on the ferry. But then this sus paint can. I was like, what the fuck's that?
Yeah, because
they didn't show you him cutting him up, and they didn't really make it very clear, eh?
Yeah, because that's after he says the line,
Oh, bro, yeah.
if you don't want a puzzle to be solved, take away some of the pieces and then scatter the rest.
Yes.
And I was like, oh yeah, he's taken away some of the crucial pieces that you use to identify a body and scatter the rest somewhere else.
Or maybe head and hands in that bucket.
Yeah.
Man, so funny on that kill. I watched this by myself and I proper let out like a howling laugh, like just an LOL when I'm in the elevator.
Oh.
And he's got the garbage bin, bro, with the body in it, and that none the wiser office worker comes in and is like, "Hey, do you want some hand? Get rid of that body."
Yeah,
and he's like, and the lady's like, and I'm like, and I was like, it was so funny.
You're like the one time you don't want to make that joke because it's actually true.
He's like, "You want some hand? You want a hand getting rid of that dead body?" And I was like, so funny. The lady just couldn't keep it in either age. I thought that was so funny. I lost it.
There was a moment in the lead up to that murder too that made me think, you know how you can do like direct to boot purchases from a bunch of like places now? Like if you buy like something from Bunnings, you can get it brought straight out to your car. You don't have to actually go into the store.
You thinking so didn't use face on camera?
Yeah, he does that.
Smart as fuck.
He orders everything that you would need to dispose of a body, but never goes into the store and pays cash.
Pays cash always. And I noticed he gave a bit of a tip too, and the guy came out with like an invoice. Did he maybe offer the guy to sign for it, and he just gave him a tip and said, "I'm not signing, don't worry."
Yeah,
that may have been a thing that happened.
Like, here's $100, just go away.
And
I was like, that made me think like, maybe direct to boot isn't as good as we all think it is.
They were doing dodgy shit.
Yeah.
Another thing too, I know I've said it a few times, it's just a movie. He got that ID card scanner reader off Amazon for like $20. Sure, you can't just buy them willy nilly.
Fob copiers.
Fob copier.
Yeah, you can.
You're gagging.
They're pretty readily available.
That's the Benjamin button. Which is shit all about this stuff.
Really kind of fucked up when you think about it.
Yeah, it's mental.
That's why, like, these days they recommend if you're gonna like you've got your credit card or something in your wallet, you should have a RFID blocking wallet, like scanners like that, because someone can just walk past you with like a square reader or something.
Yeah,
and they could just like brush it against you, just bing.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
So yeah. But I think
whatever happened to the world of Nokia 3310s and
or just cash.
And just cash. Bruh, places don't even accept cash anymore. It's messed up.
But yeah, like he does such a good job of covering his tracks. He just uses cash everywhere. He signs everything he has to book with an ID is a different ID, so none of these two people are in the same place. Did you take note of some of the ID and aliases he uses?
I did. Are they Fincher film Easter eggs?
No, they're all like sitcom characters.
Can't off the top of my head. What was some Louis Thompson? Was that one?
So one of the first ones he uses is Felix Unger, who's a character from The Odd Couple. Archibald Bunker from All in the Family. Oscar Madison, also from The Odd Couple.
Oscar Madison.
Howard Cunningham from Happy Days.
This is good by you.
Reuben Kincaid from The Partridge Family. Lou Grant from The Mary Tyler Moore Show. Sam Malone from Cheers. George Jefferson from The Jeffersons. And Robert Hartley from The Bob Newhart Show.
That's funny. I like that.
I was like, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's witty. I like that.
And yeah, like, I think what makes the character so compelling too is like, you see that inner turmoil the whole time where he's like, do I need to do this? Like, why did I fuck this up? Like the whole time, it's like, the whole thing is like, how did I fuck that up? I've never fucked up before. Like,
because he starts, it gets emotional for him. He starts going off track and losing.
Yeah, like it becomes personal for the first time. He's like, Jesus.
Yeah, and it's not work anymore.
But somehow he still manages to do everything correctly.
Keeps his cool. Oh, I think because it was personal when he was killing Pitbull, we'll call him Pitbull.
killing Pitbull.
He went a bit over the top there with blowing the house up, didn't he? That was
I think that was probably more to cover his tracks too, because he got fucked up in there, so his blood would have been in there.
Yeah. But he preempted by having that cocktail out the front.
And it was probably also because like he stakes out the place and like they're clearly sort of into some nefarious drug deal and shit. It also makes it just look like a drug thing. They burned his house down.
True.
But
yeah, 100.
I did also notice he kind of has a code though as well, like very Dexter Morgan-esque, where he won't hurt the animals. Like he doesn't kill the dog when he could have just very easily just shot the dog as well.
Was that the only instance where an animal was involved?
Yes, but like he drugs the dog intentionally because he doesn't want to obviously shoot the dog. Because like
then the dog just
we see him
instead.
He has a bloody silencer on his pistol. He could have just walked up to the fence and been like, "Boonk."
I thought that too.
So yeah,
I thought that was a bit of a weird one. Not for a second did I think he gave a shit about the dog.
Yeah, I think his code is like, why kill the animal? The animal did nothing.
Right, that.
But that
scenes aren't dogs.
That dog chasing him down and just like, oh yeah, there's a glass door in the way. Fuck this. Boof. I was like, oh,
right. He only just got out too. Well, yeah. Actually, yeah, that's
he's lucky it was a 6-foot fence.
Yeah, the dog chased him out. So essentially, he didn't blow up the dog.
Yeah, the dog would have been fine. Dog would have just been in the backyard, just been like, oh shit.
The front yard. Yeah, I was thinking the dog was still asleep under the house, but no, it definitely wasn't. It chased him. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I kind of felt bad for the dog though, because like he did nothing, and his owner's now dead, and the dog will probably get put down because it's crazy violent.
Fucked up, hey, those dogs are mental.
Yeah.
What else really?
The other note I had was the music, composed by Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails and Atticus Ross, who is a former Golden Globe and Academy Award winner for his soundtrack for Pixar's Soul. Big difference between Soul and The Killer.
If Trent Reznor did, what's it called? Girl with the Dragon Tattoo as well, I think.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of movie scores these days.
But that's a return for Fincher, yeah. Trent Reznor's a legend.
And then, a bunch of the Smiths stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much everything I had down. I had a couple of things of trivia. It's the second David Fincher feature film for Netflix, which is part of a 4-year exclusive deal. So
what was Mank, the last one?
Yep, Mank in 2020, The Killer in 2023, and it's only a 4-year deal, so we may not get any more.
That's interesting, because that was probably my next question. Was I thought it was a weird one, like Fincher doing like a straight to Netflix sort of situation with this.
Yeah, what was it? A 4-year exclusive deal.
Yeah, so I was not aware.
I imagine.
Well, at least he's made up for Mank.
Yeah, I imagine this is the only 2 we'll get though, because if it's a 4-year deal, not a 4-movie deal.
I don't know. He has been known to dish him out back-to-back years before when he gets on a roll.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
As Fincher.
And it's Michael Fassbender's first film in 4 years. Last movie he was in was X-Men Dark Phoenix in 2019.
Yeah, I couldn't think what he was in, eh?
Yeah, Dark Phoenix was not great.
Yeah, that's not
So yeah, that's...
Other than that, we pretty much just had like Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, the other cast members I wrote down: Michael Fassbender, Tilda Swinton, Charles Parnell played the lawyer. He was good in the small part he had.
If you close your eyes, that was Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Which one am I thinking of? Samuel L. Jackson for sure. It was uncanny how similar they sounded.
Yep. Arliss Howard played the client. What's he been in? I can't remember now. He was a face I recognized. He's also in Full Metal Jacket, Moneyball, Mank.
Who?
Arliss Howard.
What character did he play in this?
He played the client, the guy in the apartment building at the end that he doesn't kill.
Oh, you know what he reminded me of?
What's that?
Spike Lee.
Huh?
I mean, it's his little glasses and his little. I don't know, it's how he got about.
Yep. And then Sophie Charlotte as Magdala, the killer's girlfriend. It was really, it was very like limited cast, and it was very just focused on.
Yeah, I was going to say what
the
there was
Fassbender
like 2 females in
character.
the whole film.
Yeah, it was all a Michael Fassbender thing, and even he doesn't have all that many lines. I think the most he says is the narration at the start, and then a couple of lines to the cabbie, a couple of lines to the lawyer. I don't think he says anything to Pitbull.
What was his overall performance, are we thinking? Did he? I reckon he nailed it.
Yeah, I think
did a very good job.
The physical acting was incredible.
Oh, he was cut to pieces. Did you see him without a shirt? He was fit as.
Yeah.
There was one scene there without a shirt. I was like, oh, this guy's come to play.
But yeah, and just like, I really got the sense of like stress from him the whole movie. Like, not one moment did I look at him and be like, oh, this guy's nice and calm. Like the whole time I was like,
yeah, it was intense.
There's a million things running through his head. Like, what have I got to do next? How do I get to the next step? Like even the way he gets into the lawyer's apartment or lawyer's office is pre-planned 2 or 3 days ahead of time. Because he sends him registered FedEx, and the lady goes, oh, do you want to pay extra and send this overnight? And he's like, no, thanks, just regular. Is
that what it was? So that was a setup, so he could check out how it all operates.
Yeah, and so he knew that a FedEx guy was going to go there, which would then get him into the building, and then he could see how the door opened.
I didn't pick that one up.
Yeah.
That's good.
I watched the movie twice, so I picked up a bit.
Did you?
Yep. I watched it Saturday on my iPad, and I watched it last night again on the big TV, because I was like, yeah, I got to watch that again.
Yeah. The second time I would pick shit for that.
Yeah. Very, very good. I thought something we could do to add a little bit of depth to the conversation, ranking the Fincher verse, as I like to call it.
She's big.
What would you say are your top 5 David Fincher movies?
When you I'm gonna be dumb happy because I thought, top 5, this would be a piece of piss. Like, I'm gonna probably quickly then
looked at the list. I'm like, oh shit.
I was like, yeah, like there's probably a good 3 or 4 that I've missed out. Yeah, could definitely have been. Look, 1 and 2 are unanimous. I don't think anyone can argue me for 1 and 2. But I'm going to start 5. And I don't know. I don't like jumping the gun and, just grabbing the fresh, shiny new toy and putting that at the top of the pile, so to speak, or I don't know. But I'm putting The Killer as 5. I really enjoyed it.
I put The Killer at 5 as well.
I really enjoyed it. I thought I'd be doing a disservice to this film, which I really enjoyed, to leave it out. Now, 4 and 5.
But I was going through the list and I was like, I want The Killer to be in my top 5. But then I looked at the list and I was like, oh, fuck, it can't go any higher than 5.
Things have to miss out. Yeah, I know. Then it can't go higher than 5 because what I'm about to put in at 3 and 4 would just be utterly disrespectful to these movies to put The Killer above them. And I don't know. It's a flip of a coin, these two. But I'm going, drum roll for 4, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Ooh, interesting pick. I put Panic Room. I loved Panic Room.
See, that's what I meant. There's 3 or 4 that have missed out in the top 5. But this is probably the big one that's going to give away the top 2. And this might surprise you. And this could have easily been the top 2 for mine. I've spoken about it a few times already. Benjamin Button, Curious Case of, is at number 3.
It didn't even make my top 5.
Oh my god, you have no heart.
I put 7.
Oh.
I put 7 at 3.
So that's another one that could have been top five, but I had to make it. You may be wondering what I got at 1 and 2. You can probably guess one of them. And one of them is Fight Club, obviously, of probably top 10 greatest films of all time fame.
Mm-hmm. Is it 2 or is it 1?
Another one in the top 2 is Gone Girl, which I have watched recently because it's so friggin' incredible and it's never not going to be just an absolute wrong.
This is going to be interesting because they're my top 2 as well.
Oh, are they actually?
Yeah.
You're kidding.
So it's going to be interesting to see which one was 2 and which one was 1.
I've obviously got Fight Club.
Ooh. Controversial.
Have you? Right, have you gone Gone Girl 1?
Yeah. That twist, the first time I watched that movie, blew my fucking mind.
Out of all the Fincher like mystery thriller movies, Gone Girl has by far has the best twist. Like what everything we just spoke about with Fincher covering his tracks, Gone Girl just does 10 times over.
Mm-hmm.
Like what she does running away, like how she does everything is just. I'm convinced the killer has like got an inspiration from it.
I did not see that coming at all when I watched that movie, and when I saw that, I was like, "What? Now I need to go back and rewatch the whole movie to try and get that context." And I think even knowing that, you don't see it coming.
I honestly, it's probably only a few weeks ago I watched Gone Girl again. And it just blew my mind again. It is so thrilling. Oh, no, when you think about it, if you probably could put it at 1 if you want to bring into account Emily Ratajkowski's titties.
I knew that'd bump it up for you.
Maybe that's why you gave it 1, but I don't know.
No, it was purely based on that twist. Fight Club has an incredible twist as well, but
Gone Girl is one of those movies. If I want to show someone a movie that I haven't seen before that I have, purely for their reaction, I'm putting on.
Mm-hmm.
So I can sit there across from them on the lounge and just keep looking at
in that last 5 minutes and be like, about to watch you lose your mind.
Just seeing their minds blown, yeah.
So
yeah, Fight Club 1, Gone Girl 2, Benjamin Button 3, Girl with Dragon Tattoo 4, Killer 5. What did you have for 4 and 3 then?
So I had.
Oh, given you got Fight Club 2. Oh, you do.
Yeah, I had Gone Girl 1, Fight Club 2, 7 at 3.
7 at 3.
Panic Room at 4, and The Killer at 5.
No! What? That's messed up.
No. So,
what about, where would you put Social Network?
Yeah, maybe like 6 or 7.
Yeah, 7.
Because like the movies that missed out were all very, very good movies as well. Like Zodiac, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, The Social Network, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and then I think the other 2 movies are probably easily the weakest, Mank and Alien 3. Yeah, I think Mank is probably one of those ones where you need to really be
switched on
and like hardcore invested in that story to be compelled by it.
That's with all black and white movies. It has to be full attention because your eyes have to adjust a lot just to those colors and what's going on in front of you. You can't sort of just be in and out of it.
Yeah, and also got to give a honorable mention shout out for his 2 TV shows as well. House of Cards and Mindhunter. Like Mindhunter comes up a lot for me. It's freaking incredible and we need more of it, but Netflix says it's too expensive. Even David Fincher said it was too expensive to make.
Yeah, look how it's made.
Yeah, because they got to CG pretty much all of those backgrounds.
Yeah, each episode's a movie. Yeah. Certainly. Movie quality. Yeah, look, I'm pretty stoked with it. For 1 and 2 and Killer 5. That's good.
Yeah, we had very similar lists. Like that shows how high the quality is of those top 5 movies.
Yeah, look, I'm pretty happy with those 2 top 5s. As we've rolled, Fight Club at least top 2. So
yeah, well, like you said, it's like a almost top 10 movie of all time for anyone.
Top 10.
So it's like
period. Unless you're a female, It's, I'm
Oh,
staying.
it's very,
Why do girls like
it is very controversial.
it's too masculating?
Yes. Yes. It's a testosterone fueled fever dream.
It's what we do in India. For fuck's sake.
So then, to close out the killer conversation, what would you rate the killer out of 5?
Oh, I haven't even thought about this. Oh, man. I swear I throw these around too much. I don't know.
I gave it a
I,
4 just because it is a bit slow. And yeah, I think you do need to be a Fincher fan to sort of enjoy this one. Like,
after everything I've said, I've put it in my top 5. Oh, I don't want to do that though, but I hate giving out 4s like willing it. Nah, stuff it. No. Oh man, nah. But I've talked it up, and I'm going to recommend it to people. Look, it's a strong recommendation.
yeah, like I'm giving it a 4, but it's on the high end of that 4. Like it's bordering a 5. As a like,
I'm giving
watch
it.
this immediately.
Okay, I'm giving it a 4 floating or sinking helmets out of 5.
2 floating, 2 sinking helmets.
But I proper arm and for about 2 minutes and I was giving it a 3.9.
Oof.
But then I was like, that just contradicts everything I've recommended. As soon as I was like 40 minutes into this film, and I started flicking out messages to my mates who would like it. I was like, "You got to watch this immediately." Then it's like, I can't give it a 3.9.
Yeah, like if you like Fight Club 7 or Gone Girl, watch this.
Yeah, what am I saying? It's a straight up 4 at the very least.
I think if you like The Social Network or The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, maybe skip this one.
I don't know shit about shit. Just skip it anyway. You don't need to watch it. It's very good.
Right. Yeah, I think that's perfect.
You don't like Benjamin Button. You shouldn't be giving out this 4 to this.
I didn't say it was. No, I should give it out of 4 because it's different to Benjamin Button.
Yeah,
this one lacks emotion. Benjamin Button is all emotion.
Too much of the emotions.
So yeah, I think that's a good summary of The Killer by David Fincher.
No, I'm happy with that.
Thank you everyone for listening to the commentary booth. If you enjoyed the show, please remember to rate, review, and subscribe on podcast services and on YouTube. You can follow me on social media at JamieUpsMedia and at Pario Magazine. And you can follow Blake on Twitter at Captain Crumbs with a Z. The Commentary Booth is a fan-funded production of Jamie Ups Media. You can support the podcast alongside our magazine, Pario Magazine, on Patreon at patreon.com/JamieUpsMedia. The following people supported at the publisher level or higher, and you cannot fathom how incredibly appreciative we are for their support.